What is up, my beautiful people? Now, fat is very important on a ketogenic diet, a carnivore diet, and a low carb, high fat diet. The amount of fat for low carb, high fat compared to carnivore or keto is not the same. So if you decide to do low carb, high fat because you might have gallbladder issues, hypoglycemia, reactive hypoglycemia, and so for the short term, you have to go on to low carb, or you want more variety, then the amount of fat that you would eat would be between 80 to about 120 grams of fat per day, not per meal, per day, broken up. But if you're trying to drive ketosis to not get sick and experience all of the disease I talk about, like hypoglycemia, thyroid, immune dysfunctions, reproductive problems, I mean, there's a whole host of issues from not eating enough fat and eating too much protein and dehydration and proteins to the kidney. Well, let's get into tonight. I was cooking. I was like, I'm going to film this. I'm going to cook some pork belly. I get my pork belly from a local ranch butcher. And I get the pork belly in big ass chunks. And they cut it up into little bacon strips. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Now, as you guys can see, this is a long piece of pork belly. So I'm going to cut this up so it fits into my pan. I also want to show you guys that pork belly is mostly fat. So this is a really good example of this, where you see bits of the meat and then a lot of white fat. Now, technically, if you have pork belly like this that has a lot of fat on it, you can count this as fat on the plate. But if your fat looks like this, your pork belly fat, it's a little bit too much protein ratio to fat, and you would have to add fat to the plate. Now, some of you guys have issues with your gallbladder. So what's really awesome, pull out of this friggin' bag. So they seal dry up the pork belly when they cut it. So I love my butcher. They don't just put it in those paper wrappers. If you have a gallbladder issue, my hands are so messy right now. I eat Vital Farms now. I stopped eating the Kerrygold because of the toxins in their wrapping. But Vital Farms is what I eat now. I'll cook with Vital Farms with the pork belly, or I won't because I like the taste when I add some butter. But this is what it looks like when it's all fat like that. And a fatty piece like this is perfect if you guys have a gallbladder problem. Now, what you don't realize is that the body, when you have gallbladder sludge or stones, the body has a difficulty releasing bile that'll end up in the small intestine and break down that fat. Fat like this in its whole form is much easier for people who've got gallbladder issues. So this is what I recommend, at least 45 grams on the plate if you're trying to drive ketosis, 30 grams if you're doing low carb, high fat. So that's ketosis for keto, omnivore, and for carnivore. That means 45 grams of pure fat. You could put it in the air fryer, and with pork belly, because it's so delish, you can just fry it on the pan. So as you guys can see, I'm cooking my pork belly. Right there. Goodness, Steph, come on. So that's the pork belly that I'm cooking for dinner. Now, I'm not going to eat all of this. This is for a couple of nights. So we probably have about 4 or 5 ounces of pork belly right there. Probably eat most of that. Maybe 2 nights. Let's keep it real. What am I doing? I definitely got to cut this out. I am all thumbs right now trying to do this video. But what I also want you guys to see is the fat that you get after you cook. So once this pork belly gets going, you're going to also, it's going to turn into, I am so not professional at filming all this stuff in the tiniest of space in my RV camper. But this is what it's going to end up looking like It makes a lot of lard. Now, lard from bacon fat, especially from the belly, is much softer than the other parts, like the jowl or the back. When you cut it, or when you try to cut it open here or use a spoon or a knife, it's like butter. Okay? When I cook this, I'm going to use salt. I'm going to go through my last Redmond's and switch to Celtic salt because of the lead that the people are finding in your Redmond's real salt. But this, if you guys have a difficulty with butter and histamine and you don't with lard, this is what's up. Very soft, very amazing. Perfection. I want to remind you guys that most people that I coach have some type of underlying or obvious gallbladder issue. Just know this. And most of you have histamine, unfortunately. Leaky gut, histamine, some type of bacterial imbalance, mainly in the large intestine and often coming from the small because of having wheat gluten intolerance. You have to have high fat on a carnivore diet, but your body knows when to stop. It's according to digestion, how much stomach acid you have, how much lipase you have, and how much how well the gallbladder releases bile salts. It takes a while to break down fat. So when people say prime and eat as much fat as possible, that could be like a half a teaspoon, or that could be like 5 sticks of this. I keep hearing somebody saying that you should eat 5 sticks, 5 of these. That's unnecessary. That's ridiculous. Don't eat 5 sticks. You can either eat 2 a day, depending on your activity level and your gallbladder function, or 1.5 of Vital Farms trying to get into ketosis. Be very careful for that gallbladder. A lot of you guys don't have a functioning, really high functioning liver, kidney, gallbladder, and pancreas, which is going to make that lipase. A lot of you guys have issues, so listen to your gallbladder. Bloating, nausea, right side pain, shoulder blade pain, greasy stool, pale stool, floating stool, mushy stool are all signs of a gallbladder issue. And people keep saying, oh, I got pain like right up here. I got a pain. Whoa, right up here, right up here. And I'm like, they think it's their liver, but often it's just the gallbladder. So, like I said, if you are having gallbladder issues, having solid white pieces of fat, here's my little solid white. This is going to be much easier for your gallbladder to handle than, let's say, this. But first you got to understand the symptoms. And I'm out because I'm hungry and the frying of this was making too much noise. So I don't want this video to be any longer because y'all know what bacon looks like. And I'm out. You guys, I'm doing a challenge and I'm going over everything I can think of. It's going to be amazing. It's a 30-day challenge. Sign-ups are not ready yet. Let me finish the darn thing because you know I got a busy life here moving to raw land with 4 big equine animals. Today I got my roof redone and some beams reattached because the structure that my RV is under is so old. So I'm almost, well, most of the way done with this challenge, and I will announce the dates, the sign-up dates, the pre-sign-up dates, the things that you win, the prizes that people win, and it's going to be so amazing. I'm really excited for this because I'm taking everything that I've learned and I put it into 30 days for $30. Doesn't matter if it's your gallbladder or if it's your histamine or if it's the weight loss or if it's sleeping better, circadian rhythm, menstrual cycles, low testosterone, all the way down the gamut. And I'm out. Peace. Can't wait to eat this. Energy. Stephanie Ketogenic is my Instagram. Stephanie the business person is my Facebook. I also run a course where I cover all 3 diets, and this challenge will be for low carb, high fat, keto, omnivore, and carnivore people through my website, not one of these social media apps. And I'm out. Energy, energy, energy. freaking 55, almost 56. That's what's up. Pure keto. Almost 16 years, my people.